Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to be running through a couple more questions which has rolled over from episode 1. And we'll also be talking about why personal trainers and people in the fitness industry don't seem to get on with Slimming World and everything they stand for. So question 1 is, what is my fat loss tips for a beginner? And the first thing I would say is your nutrition must be on point. You can have the best training in the world, you can train as hard as you want, but if your nutrition is not on point, you will slow down your fat loss progress. So number 1, nail down your nutrition. You can go with the flow of training, but your nutrition, you need to get that bang on from the very beginning. So as a beginner, it can be hard trying to figure out what foods to eat, when's the best time to eat. The main thing you need to learn is about calories. Calories in versus calories out. Calorie deficit versus calorie surplus. That is the main thing you must learn from the start. So we all have a calorie maintenance level, a TDE level. Those calories are the amount of calories we need to eat per day to maintain our weight. So let's say your maintenance calories are 2,500. You need to eat under that 2,500 mark to lose weight, or if you want to gain weight and gain muscle, you need to eat over that 2,500 mark. So if your goal is fat loss, you need to eat under 2,500, which the optimal level is about a 200 calorie deficit. So if you were to eat at 2,300 calories per day, you would lose weight. And it is that simple. It can get complicated when you read things online telling you that this is the best way for fat loss, this is the best way for fat loss, low carb, high carb, keto, paleo, don't eat after 6, just learn calories, eat 200 to 250 calories under your maintenance calories level and you will lose weight. Now what if you're eating 2,300 calories, you're in a 200 calorie deficit and you're doing exercise? What does that mean? So if you burn 100 calories through exercise, you're giving yourself a 300 calorie deficit then. So your 200 calorie deficit, if you eat 2,300 out of your 2,500 maintenance, you'll be already in a 200 calorie deficit. You can make that a further deficit by doing some extra calorie expenditure, which may be going for a walk, maybe going to the gym, or you may be in work all day, you may be on your feet and you're burning more calories. Some people like to burn a certain amount of calories through calorie expenditure, through exercise, and leave it at that. And some people would like to eat a further meal or lunch or snack to make them feel better. What I would say is just make sure you're in at least 200 calorie deficit. If on one day you're crazy busy and you're a 400 calorie deficit, yeah, you can eat a little bit to scale that back, but do not fall under 200 calorie deficit, because that seems to be the sweet spot where people tend to lose the optimal amount of weight at the right pace. So as a beginner, learn calories, learn how to count your calories. MyFitnessPal is an excellent app for anyone looking to track their foods and the calories and maybe scale on them to track their macronutrients. MyFitnessPal is the best app out there for tracking calories and tracking foods. You can track your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks by simply typing in the name of each product, or you can scan the barcode, which is much handier. With MyFitnessPal, you can set your calorie goal, although it seems to be way off. It will tell you to eat crazy amounts of calories where it is just right off. So maybe if you're a beginner, ask someone like me or someone else as a personal trainer who will know the amount of calories you should be eating per day. And these calculators and how many calories you should eat per day is down to a few things: your age, your activity levels, your weight. These things all add. So it's not just, oh, you're this age at this weight, yeah, this amount of calories. How busy you are, how active, whether you're lightly active, you just get into it, or you're extremely active, you train 5 times a week and you work five days a week. That will differ. Gender is also a big thing. Those four things are the main contributing factors to someone's TDE levels and the calorie maintenance levels. So download MyFitnessPal, but before you set up your calories, don't go with the calories they give you. Ask someone in the industry who knows what they're doing, and they'll give you your calorie levels for the week. I hope that helped. If you are a beginner, drop me a text and I can help you. One more thing before I finish up this question, actually. A massive thing I try to get any clients of mine who are just starting off, are just beginners, I try and get them to learn how to read food labels. And this might seem like over your head, but it's simpler than just going to the back of a packet and reading through the label. They brought a new thing in a year or two ago, which is the traffic light system on labels. So instead of being at the back of the pack, it's at the very front. So it'd be facing you. So orange, amber is okay, right in the middle. Red is high amounts of, it's mainly fats, salts, sugars, and green is the nutrient dense, low sugars, low fats. So it's much simpler now going around the aisle. Just look for the traffic light system. If they're all red, of course they're high fats, high sugars, high calories. Try your best to avoid them. Look for ones more nutrient dense with more greens. And if you're more interested, go look at the back of the pack, but the traffic light system will send you in the right direction. So if you are a beginner and you need some help, feel free to contact me and I'll help you as best I can. Question 2 is along the same lines as the question 1. Carb cycling tips, is it worth doing? With carb cycling tips, just to start off, for carb cycling must be for, first of all, someone who's advanced, but second of all, you must already be in an extremely lean state for carb cycling to make a big difference. You must already be in single digit of body fat, I would say, because maybe if you're too high of a level of body fat, this carb cycling will not be your number one priority. A lot of bodybuilders do it coming up to a show because they're already at an incredibly lean state, can't get any leaner, so this carb cycling will get them that extra inch. What carb cycling does is it will deplete your glycogen levels of glucose, which means you'll pull all the water out of the cell, you'll drop water weight, and it will have you looking more vascular due to the drop in water weight, and you will look a lot leaner and bigger. And I would advise it for anybody who is competing, or someone who's very lean, or if somebody is going on a holiday, which I implemented in. At the moment I'm doing a 6 month cut. I am not going to implement this carb cycle until over 4 months in. So I'm going to wait till probably maybe 4.5 months in, and I implement it for the last month and a half. Because over them 4 months, I'll lose approximately 20 pounds. Then for my last 10 pounds to lose, I'll implement carb cycling, just because I am not as carb dependent as some people may be. If you're carb dependent, carb cycling will not work so well for you. I can work very well off fats. I can drop my carbs down, up my fats, and I'll be fine. I have no drop in energy, or I can go well off fats. So if you're already incredibly lean, you're coming off a 4 or 5 month cutting phase, and you're getting ready for a summer or a festival or a holiday, or if you are competing in a show, then yes, I would advise carb cycling, but only if it's done correctly. When you're doing carb cycling, I would advise to get on board with a coach, or a personal trainer, or somebody who knows the ins and outs of carb cycling, and they can help you. I would not advise to do it on your own, because when it's done wrong, it can just make you look worse. It can fill you up with water weight. You can you blow out, and it's a waste of time if you're not done correctly. So if you are incredibly lean, you're coming off a 4 or 5 month cutting phase, and this is your last step, yeah, do carb cycling, but get on board with a coach and let him do it with you. So question 3 is, what things do you not like about the industry? I don't really worry about too much things in the industry. I just try to focus on myself. But if I had to answer, I would say just people in the industry being sour about other people's success. Maybe that's not just the industry, that's just the world now. But if someone else does well, be happy for them. Don't be jealous of their success. Just be happy for them, be happy for each other. Because be confident in yourself. Your success will come. It's not just the fitness industry, it's this day and age now. People are jealous of other success. You want others to do badly. And if someone fails, everybody else is equally happy about that failure. You should never be happy about someone else's failure. And also, you should never be down about somebody else's success. Question 4 is, what are my podcast and book recommendations? Podcast and book recommendations. I don't have many podcasts in my library, but the ones I do have are the Triage Method podcast with Skinny Gaz. That's a good fitness and exercise nutrition related podcast. Another really good one is the Trendy podcast, TM Cycles. It's more of a bodybuilding fitness type podcast. A really good one is the True Geordie podcast. His episode with Noel Ranger was, you have to go check that one out. And what else have we got? Joe Rogan, of course, and the Blind Boy podcast. The Blind Boy podcast is the best podcast I have in my library. You have to go check out the Blind Boy podcast. And as for books, I am currently reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That is probably the best book I've ever read. And I've also got the 4-Hour Work Week. I haven't got onto that one yet. And the Brian Keane book, The Fitness Mindset, that's a really good fitness book too. The last question before we get onto the last part of the episode. What exercise regime would you give for a beginner? Now, I don't know what level of beginner this is talking about, but I will start at the very start. So if you're a beginner, you've never set foot in a gym, my advice would be to up your NEAT activity. So this is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and this is basically all your activity you do day to day, apart from your main exercise, whether that be through sport, whether that be through going to the gym. So this can be you walking to and from work. This can be you taking the stairs instead of the elevator you always take. This can be you hand washing the dishes instead of using the dishwasher. It's all of these small calorie expenditure. So you might not think walking to the shop instead of driving will make a big difference to your calories. If you do these 3, 4, 5 times a day, you'll burn 400 to 500 calories extra. So as a beginner, my advice would be to do the activity you like most, whether that be walking, or you like going on cycles, whether you like going for a swim, or whether you like going on a walk through the park on a Sunday morning. Whatever it may be, once you find out the certain activity which you would like to go for, if you don't have an Apple Watch or a Garmin watch or Fitbit, once you have a smartphone, either on the iPhone there's a health app, and I'm sure on Android there's something similar. Sign yourself up on the health app, then it will ask you for your step target. Now, let's say give yourself 10 to 12,000 step target per week. I'm not big on targets per day. it comes to activity, because you might have a quiet day, you might have no work, it might be a day off the gym, and you won't be moving so much. So give yourself a step target for the week. So let's say 10 to 12,000 steps per week. And like I said, go walk some more, go for a swim, go for a cycle. Even just if you're going to the shop or you're driving somewhere, park 5 to 10 minutes further away, just so you can walk there and walk back. It will benefit you in the long term. So maybe 3 to 4 weeks in of doing a 10 to 12 step target per week gets easy for you now. So then we up it to 15, 16, 17,000 steps per week. And over time, you will become more and more active, and you'll be doubling your step target, 30,000 steps per week. This way, you're adding activity to your life. You're getting more and more active, and then eventually you can add in some more vigorous exercise. You can go for jogs, you can go for runs, you can do HIIT sessions, you can join the gym. As a beginner, this is a very easy way to progress quickly. And since you have a target, that will get you more enthusiastic about the activity. Like, if you have a target and you don't hit that target, you will not feel good about yourself. And on the flip side, if you hit that target, you'll feel amazing and you'll know you can do better. A good way to do it is also go with a friend, maybe go for a walk. If there's 2 or 3 of you, it can be good, but it can also be let down if they're busy that day. It might make you drop out. So if you're going with someone, pick someone who you can depend on and who's reliable and will not let you down. So we have one more question before we go into the main part of the episode, and that is about water cutting and water loading. So this is the same as carb cycling. They sort of go hand in hand. So what it is for the first part of the week you will load up on water, and the second part of the week you will cut the water out. This again is like carb cycling when you're at your very, very leanest and you want to go that extra inch just to make everything perfect. So what I do when I'm doing my water cut, I do a week before my holiday. You double your water intake on the Monday. So my water intake will be 1.5 to 2 litres per day. So I'll have 3 to 4 litres on the Monday. On the Tuesday it will be roughly 2 litres. Then Wednesday it will be 1 litre. Thursday 750 ml. Friday 500 ml. Saturday 250, and on the Sunday there's 100 ml. And this way you're tricking your body into pulling water out of the cells. So because you're loading that in, it's flushing through. But it's also good because over the first 2 days you're taking in 5 litres of water. That will not leave your system for a number of days. So you're not dehydrating yourself for that second part of the week, because that 5 litres you had Monday and Tuesday is still in your system. This is a really, really good way of pulling water out of the cells, and it can be really beneficial if you want to get to your leanest state for a holiday or for a show or for a festival. The only downside to it is you will need to be by a toilet. If you are flying, make sure you're on the aisle seat, because you'll be coming back and forth to the toilet 3 to 4 times over that flight. So yeah, I think I'll wrap up the questions there. Now the last part of the episode is, why do personal trainers and people in the industry not seem to get on with the Slimming World community? Now, I don't think this is any way. I don't think it's personal. I just feel that personal trainers and people in the industry who are educated don't like the way Slimming World con people on, and that. So there's no basics taught in Slimming World. So there's no mention of calories. There's no basic nutrition brought into whatever they stand for. Everything is based on sins. So if you eat bad food, you get sinned for it. If you're a beginner and you're overweight and you're being sinned and punished for eating bad food, why not to just get calories, tell them they can eat this food and stay in this calories, do not go over this calorie level, and you will lose weight. And they'd be far, far happier than they might be in line for the whole week and they eat this thinned food and they're being slammed for it. That's just one thing we don't believe in. Another thing is there's no fundamentals. The fundamentals of nutrition are the macronutrients, the calories. Like in the Slimming World, there's no calories, no macronutrients. Each participant has no macronutrient levels. They have no target. They have no calorie target. It's just eat all the foods that aren't sins. And some of their sin-free foods up until recently were white potatoes, bread, and many complex carbs. And if you don't know, the complex carbs are slow digesting carbohydrates, which will leave your body a lot slower than simple carbohydrates. With complex carbs, if they're not burned off through energy, through exercise, they will turn into fat and they will be stored as fat. So if you're having unlimited amount of complex carbohydrates and you're not incredibly active, that will be stored as fat and you'll put on weight. Another thing about the weight thing in Slimming World, they weigh their participants at a certain time each week. This is mainly what I've seen is in the evening time. So let's say it's at 6 or 7 o'clock. The participants are just finished work, they've just had a big massive meal and they go and weigh themselves. The weight testing requirements has to be you cannot eat anything up till 3 hours before. So you must be in a fast state for 3 hours to get an optimal reading, which Slimming World do not have any requirements. You just get them on the scale. Yeah, you're overweight or you lost weight. Yeah, well done. Why can't there be any coach-client relationship like we do in the fitness industry? Like, why do they all have to go to this talk and see? This wrestling will have all their participants. You get them in this room, they give them a Slimming World cookbook and they try to sell them Slimming World products. See, I don't know how people can see through this. You're trying to be sold the products from the brand. Everything is a marketing stunt. Stop trying to sell your participants out and just try to make them the best progress as you can. Another thing, I don't know if Slimming World people are even qualified. If they are, you can contact me and let me know, but I don't know what qualifications they would have. I think a lot of them are volunteers. So if you're volunteering to help someone with their health, so let me tell you this: if you have two people who are obese, not happy with their life, and want to lose some weight, these two people are the exact same weight, and one goes to the world, one goes to your personal trainer. You give them 8 weeks. Who do you think will progress the most? I'll leave that question up to you, but the Slimming World, there's no approach. I mean, whether this is a stunt which is done deliberately to keep their participants coming back. Do not tell them about calories. Do not tell them how to track their own macronutrients and the calories, how to cook their own meals and weigh themselves and be active themselves, and not have to live out of a cookbook. Whether that is to keep them close to their chest so they don't leave, or it's out of non-education and they don't know the fundamentals. Whether it's either of those two, I'm not sure, but it's definitely clear to see that there's no fundamentals and there's no basics taught at all. And like I said in the fat diets in the first episode, Cinnamon roll is one of those fat diets. It works short term, and the only people I've ever heard of for it to work long term are people who have learned the basics by themselves and they have implemented that long term. Otherwise, it's a short term diet that will work short term, it will work for 3 to 4 weeks, then the weight will slowly start to go back on. It's like the first week of January, everybody's so motivated, I'm going to do this new diet, and the first 3 weeks you lose 6-7 pounds. Now we're going into February, people are falling off that wagon, people are putting on weight, they're being complacent. Cinnamon roll is the exact same. I know somebody that I know, she lost half a stone in 3 to 4 weeks, and on her 6th week it was slowly going back on. That's because in Cinnamon roll, so the first 2 weeks of weight loss will always be the easiest. It will always be the weight, the water weight, and the original drop in calories, and you being in different types of foods will always show a massive drop in weight the first 2 to 3 weeks. After that, it's where the hard work starts. It's where you need to keep that going at the exact same rate, if not at a higher rate. Otherwise, the weight loss will stop. It will stall, and weight will go back on. So that's all. Like nutrition is basic thing if done right. I would have no problem in the world if they said to each of their participants, sat them down and said, here's your calories, here's what a calorie is, here's your macronutrient, each macronutrient breakdown, what are carbs, what are fats, what are proteins, where proteins come from, different types of fats, different types of carbs. It can take just over a week. Their first week, learn the basics of nutrition, then progress into week 2. Here's how you can be active. So if you give, I'll take the example again, 2 obese individuals, not happy with their weight, give me one, give the other one to Cinnamon roll. So they've never been active before. So I'll do exactly what I just said. Go through the carbohydrates, different simple carbs, complex carbs, proteins, where the amino acids come from, different fats, polypeptides, etc. Then I'll put them on INEAT, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I'll give them a step target for the week, 10,000 step target for the week. Come back to me with boost. We'll up that next week. We'll become more active. And send him to Cinnamon roll where he'll be given a cookbook and be told eat these foods and step on the scales when you've just eaten a big meal. And give me 6 weeks and we'll see who loses more weight, but most importantly, who becomes more educated, who learns. It's not all about the weight loss. If you lose that weight loss and you didn't learn the education, it'll go back on. Plus, you're spending all that money on the film world where you can do more yourself for free by just becoming educated online. So I'll leave that there. I just want to say a massive thank you as well for everybody who listened to episode 1, whether that be through listening or sharing or supporting or liking. I believe it's over 115 views now, I think. I was expecting 20 to 30 views and it surpassed 100 views, so I just want to say a massive thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as it did the last, and there will be another upload coming in the next 5 days or so. So thank you for listening and goodbye.
So that's episode 2 wrapped up. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and episode 3 will be out very soon.